My beloved child, have you ever sat in the stillness of the night, when every sound has faded away and within you arises a question, why do I exist? What was I born for? In that very moment, your soul is touching a truth deeper than anything you have ever known. Do not think of it as something fleeting, for it is I who planted within you the longing to search for meaning. If you are hearing these words today, it is not by chance. This is my call, the call of the one who knew you before you were formed, the one who longs to remind you that you are not the product of coincidence, but a sacred design woven into my eternal purpose. From generation to generation, humankind has searched for the answer to this question of meaning. They built empires, painted masterpieces, composed music, conquered mountains, and dived into the depths of the seas, all in an attempt to fill the emptiness inside. Many thought that wealth, fame, or power would bring satisfaction. Yet when night falls, the void remains, and a whisper can still be heard. There is more than this. You have felt that whisper too, haven't you? For I placed within your heart an echo calling you back to your true origin. Understand this, that emptiness is not failure, but a reminder that you were created for something greater than the world's measurements. Your true worth is not determined by how much money you hold, the titles you achieve, or how many people know your name. Those things are fragile and fleeting, but there is an eternal value that never changes. You are a creation bearing the imprint of the divine. Look at your hands, the fingerprints are unlike any other in existence. Look at your eyes, no one else sees life the way you do. Recall the experiences you have lived. Through all of them, I have woven into a tapestry uniquely yours, impossible to replicate. This is proof that you are not ordinary, but an irreplaceable part of my work. Perhaps you have heard words that wounded you, voices saying you were not good enough, that you should accept a lesser life. But my child, those words never define you. Your true identity is not decided by human judgment, but by me, your Creator. I declared in Scripture, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you, Jeremiah 1:5. You were known, you were loved, and you were chosen even before your first cry echoed into this world. Why then do so many still live unaware of their true worth? It is because from childhood they were surrounded by comparisons, by pressures, by prejudice. The world told them, you must achieve this to be worthy. You must accomplish that to have value. And so they chase endlessly, running in circles until they are exhausted, forgetting that true worth was always within them. My child, you do not need to become someone else to prove anything. The very fact that you exist is already proof of meaning. Think back to how many times you looked in the mirror and saw only flaws instead of the uniqueness I placed within you. How many times you grew weary trying to prove your worth in the eyes of others. But I tell you this, you never needed to prove yourself. You carried worth from the moment you were conceived. Achievements, work, relationships, all these are only vessels to express that worth outwardly, not the source that creates it. So if today you feel overlooked, listen to my words. You are not invisible. You are not forsaken. You are not meaningless. You are part of a grand design that no one else can replace. No one can walk the path I have set for you. No one can reach the souls I destined for you to touch. It is this very uniqueness that is the reason I gave you life. When you begin to recognize your true worth, your perspective on life will change. Failure will no longer be a sentence but a classroom. Rejection will no longer be destruction but direction. You will live not to prove but to reveal. And in that revealing you will experience a life more complete, more abundant than you ever imagined. Now the question is no longer, do I have worth? For that has been established from eternity. The real question is, what will you do with the value I have placed within you? That question is the starting point of a journey that helps you discover true peace for yourself and transforms you into a source of light for others. For when a person is freed from the doubt of their own worth, that person not only lives in freedom but also brings freedom to the whole community. Therefore, my child, engrave this truth deeply. You are not an accident. You are a living testimony of my love, my wisdom, and my eternal purpose. Before you ever saw the light of the sun, I saw you. Before you uttered your first cry, I had already called you by name. And now I remind you of this, so that you may not live as one lost, but as one destined to walk in fullness. My beloved, listen closely, for I want you to recognize a truth the world has tried to conceal from your eyes. You are unique. No one on this earth is exactly like you. No one shares the same thoughts, the same heartbeat, the same interwoven experiences that have shaped you into who you are today. You may look around and see others who are more skilled, wealthier, or more famous, but do not be deceived into thinking they can replace your role. In the vastness of creation, you are a melody of your own one that no other can play in your place. I have woven you with threads that are never duplicated. You carry abilities, desires, and even limitations that may appear small. All of them are part of my design. Do not despise your difference. The world will try to mold you into uniform patterns, insisting that you must resemble this person or that person to be valuable. But I declare to you, value does not lie in imitation, but in uniqueness. If the entire world were made of copies who would testify to my abundance, it is precisely the diversity of creation that proclaims that I am infinitely wise. Picture a vast garden where countless flowers bloom. If all were of one kind, how poor and dull the garden would be. But when each blossom displays its beauty in its own way, the garden becomes a radiant masterpiece. You are one of those flowers. You do not need to force yourself to be a rose if I have made you a carnation. You do not need to pretend to be a sunflower if I have placed within you the fragrance of an orchid. Live true to the uniqueness I have given you, for only then will you truly shine. My child, I have inscribed within your soul a language that only you are fluent in. Perhaps it is a deep compassion that others cannot understand. Perhaps it is creativity that springs forth in the smallest things often overlooked by the world. Perhaps it is a quiet resilience after every fall. Whatever it may be, it is the very mark I have placed within you, and it is that mark which makes you the instrument for a mission that no one else can fulfill. The world often looks only at the outward, whether you are tall or short, beautiful or plain, successful or failed. But I do not look that way. I look at your heart, where the most precious treasure resides. That is why, though you may feel judged, misunderstood, or belittled, my child, do not allow those words to define you. They do not see what I see. When I created you, I made no mistake. Every detail in you was intentional. Even the parts you call flaws. I can use those very cracks to let my light shine through. Remember, you are a work of art, unlike any other. Like a gem that has been refined, its true worth is not in the dust that covers it, but in the light hidden deep within. Over the years, the dust of life may have concealed your value, yet that light has never faded. It has only been waiting for the day it is wiped clean so it can shine brilliantly. I want you to believe that even the scars of your life do not lessen your value. Rather, they make you more unique. For every scar is a story, a testimony that you have faced trials and yet remained standing. How many times have you compared yourself with others and felt inferior? How many times have you thought that you were nothing more than a shadow in the crowd? My child, comparison is a trap that causes you to forget the truth. If you strive to live as a copy, you will lose the melody that only you can play. I did not call you to be a better version of someone else. I called you to be the fullest version of yourself. And to achieve that, you must return to your source. Look to me, the one who created you. When you live in the uniqueness I have given you, you will experience true freedom. You will no longer be bound by the opinions of others, nor will you chase fleeting approval. You will walk with confidence, not because you are flawless, but because you know you are loved and chosen by the perfect one. In that moment, life will reveal a deeper meaning, not merely a string of passing days, but a journey of discovering the treasure hidden within your very soul. Picture yourself as a candle. If you try to hide your light to blend into the darkness, that candle becomes useless. But when you dare to burn with the flame I placed within you, you will illuminate the entire room. And that light is not only for you, but also for those sitting in darkness longing to find their way out. This is the power of uniqueness. When you live true to yourself, you become a source of light for the world. So then, my child, stop striving to become a copy. Walk forward with the courage that you were created to be different. You are a poem in my heart, a song I have composed, a masterpiece that even angels marvel at. Never doubt this truth. And when you believe it, your whole life will change, for from that moment on, you will know that you no longer need to chase the world's definitions, but can live in the truth of the one who made you. My beloved, I know there are days when you wake up feeling empty, as though you are trapped in a meaningless cycle. I see you walking among the crowd, yet feeling utterly alone inside. You have asked yourself, does my life truly have a purpose, or am I just a small grain of sand swept away by the turmoil of the world? My child, that very restlessness reveals that your soul longs to return to its true origin. You were not created to live in confusion. You were created to walk in the light and to know the identity I have given you. Yet I also know there are many obstacles that keep you from seeing the truth about yourself. This world has planted lies in your heart from an early age. Perhaps someone once told you that you were not good enough, not beautiful enough, not intelligent enough. Perhaps you were compared, rejected, betrayed, and from those moments you began to believe that you had no value. These wounds are like veils that blur your vision. You start to see yourself through a distorted lens instead of through my eyes. You let painful experiences define you rather than letting my eternal love define you. I want you to understand this. No rejection, no failure, no wound can erase the value I have placed within you. The world may despise you, but I still call you by name. Others may turn their backs, but I will never abandon you. Even when you think your life is nothing but a series of mistakes, I still see within you a sacred seed waiting to sprout. The very things that seemed meant to destroy you, I will use to refine you and make you stronger. My child, one of the reasons many people live in confusion is because they constantly chase after the recognition of others. They seek their worth in the gaze of people, in fleeting words of praise. Yet those looks and words change with the seasons, and when they disappear, all that remains is emptiness. I say to you, do not search for your value in what is temporary. Find it in me, the one who never changes. When you learn to look to me, you will no longer be shaken by the voices of men. When you know who you are in me, you will no longer be carried away by the storms around you. My child, do not fear when you must face yourself. Many run away because they believe their hearts are filled only with darkness. But I tell you this, when my light shines, the darkness must retreat. The truth may startle you for a moment, but that very truth will set you free. When you dare to look straight at the wound, I will heal it. When you dare to face your fear, I will grant you strength. When you dare to admit your weakness, I will fill you with my power. The first step on the journey of discovering your true worth is the courage to see yourself through my light. You once believed you were meaningless, but I affirm, you have purpose. You once thought you were abandoned, but I declare I have always been with you. You once believed you were just ordinary, but I reveal to you, in my eyes you are wonderfully made. The scripture says, I praise you because I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know that full well, Psalm 139:14. This is not merely the testimony of someone long ago, but a truth that stands for you today. So pause and reflect. Who made you believe you were not enough? Who placed upon you the burden of proving your worth? Who convinced you that you are nothing more than a speck of dust? None of those voices come from me. I declare that you are a precious gem, my inheritance, a witness to the light. Do not let those lies imprison your soul any longer. Return to hear my voice, for only my voice defines your life. My beloved child, your journey cannot truly begin if your eyes remain veiled by falsehood. Therefore, the very first step I call you to take today is this: dare to look at the truth. Do not be afraid. Let me show you who you truly are. Let me remove every mask the world has forced you to wear. Let me cleanse every hidden wound you have carried. Let me shine into the corners of your soul you have never dared to face. When you see yourself through my light, you will realize you are not the product of failure, but a living testimony of grace. I know this will not be easy. I know there will be moments when you long to return to the darkness where you felt safe because no one could see your pain. But remember, darkness only breeds fear, while light brings healing. If you choose to step out with courage, you will experience a freedom you have never known before, a freedom from comparison, from the pressure to prove yourself, from the lies that have bound you for so many years. My child, let me tell you plainly, you were never destined to live as one who is lost. You were created to walk in the fullness of the identity I have given you. And the first step to begin is to believe that you have value in my sight. From there, everything else will begin to change. You will look back at your old wounds not with bitterness, but with gratitude for how they shaped you. You will look back at your failures not as endings, but as foundations upon which to build a new future. You will rise again, no longer trembling, but strong in the truth that you are my child, and you will never be alone. My beloved child, I want you to understand that there is a great difference between merely existing and truly living. Many people in this world drift through their days like leaves blown by the wind, carried away by circumstances, by the opinions of others, by the endless cycle of needs and ambitions. They wake up, work, eat, sleep, and repeat the same pattern the next day. Their lives resemble a machine running without purpose. But I did not create you just to repeat meaningless steps. I formed you to live a life with direction, with meaning, with a calling. My child, a calling is not simply a job or a title. It is not merely the career you choose or the duty you carry out for appearance's sake. A calling is the breath of the soul. It is what makes you live rather than just exist. A calling is the inner stirring I placed within you even before you were born. It goes far beyond human description, for it is not something society labels you with, but something I, myself, shaped within you. When you hear that calling, your heart will beat to a different rhythm. Even if you try to ignore it, it still whispers within you, reminding you that there is a reason for your presence in this world. I know there have been times when you confused your work with your calling. Work is what you do to survive, but calling is what you live to fulfill. Work can change with time, with different seasons of life, but your calling remains ever present, steady, and unshakable. You may take on many jobs, yet if you live true to your calling, you will see an invisible thread weaving them all together, and you will realize every experience, every step along the way has been preparing you for a greater mission. My child, how can you recognize this calling? First, you must listen to the deep stirrings within your heart. When you see a pain in the world and you cannot remain indifferent, that is a sign. When you notice a need that others overlook, but your heart insists on answering that too, is a sign. When you do something that fills your soul with life, even if it is tiring, that is also a sign. A calling does not always thunder like a storm. Often it is only a whisper. Yet once you learn to listen, you will recognize it more clearly than ever before. My dear one, I want you to know that your calling is never random. It is always connected to you, to the gifts I have given, to the experiences you have walked through, to the tears and the laughter you have carried in your life. I have used both joy and pain to shape you, and all of these will come together into a complete picture when you follow your calling. Remember, this no detail in your life is meaningless. Every chapter, whether bright or dark, is part of the larger story I am writing. I know that many times you have doubted, have I truly heard my calling, or am I only imagining it? My child, do not worry. When something comes from me, it will not only move you for a moment, it will pursue you for a lifetime. It will not leave you, for it is part of who you are. A calling may lie dormant for a season, but it will never vanish. Even if you choose to wander down other paths, it will still remain waiting for you to return. My child, I want you not to confuse the noise of the world with my calling. The world will shout into your ears that you must achieve this chase, that in order to prove your worth. But my calling does not push you with pressure. It draws you with the gentle pull of love. When you walk in your calling, you do not feel forced. You feel free. You may feel small, yet you are filled with meaning, because you know you are contributing to something far greater than yourself. My child, many will choose to live by inertia, for that path is easier. They do not want to ask questions, nor do they wish to face the responsibility of a purposeful life. But I am calling you to walk a different path, a path that at times may be harder and demand more, yet it leads to true fulfillment. I did not call you to live a life of complacency, but to be a light in the darkness, to be salt to the earth, to become a living testimony that I am still at work in this world. Therefore, my child, do not take lightly the stirrings I have placed within your heart. Do not think that only the great have a calling. Every one of my children has a vital part in my plan. Your calling may not cause the world to applaud, but it will cause heaven to rejoice. It may not make headlines in the news, but it will transform the lives of those you touch. And remember this: in my eyes, no calling is small, for each one is an essential link in the chain of salvation. Beloved one, the time has come for you to stop living like a drifting leaf. The time has come to cease chasing after emptiness and to step into fullness. Listen deeply, for that calling has been echoing within you for a very long time. I am inviting you to walk not under compulsion but under calling. For when you live in your calling, you will discover this truth: you are not merely existing, you are truly living. My dear child, I want you to know that I did not create you by accident, nor did I endow you with abilities only to leave you to fend for yourself. Everything I have placed within you, from talents and passions to even painful experiences, are pieces of a grand design. Each fragment, whether small or complex, carries meaning. Seen in isolation, they may appear scattered or disconnected. But when you walk under my guidance, you will realize they all come together to form a single symphony that is your calling. Picture a great symphony. Within it, no instrument is identical to another, yet each one is necessary to create the complete harmony. The delicate violin, the powerful drum, the gentle flute all blend together to produce a glorious sound. You are an instrument within that symphony. I have given you a unique tone, a role that cannot be replaced. If you try to imitate another instrument, the music will lose its balance. But if you remain faithful to your own sound, the whole composition will be made perfect. My child, the gifts I have entrusted to you are not merely for your own adornment. They were given so you might serve a greater purpose: to heal, to build, to encourage, to bring light. The world may teach you to use your abilities for ambition or self-glory, but I declare to you, when you use those gifts to express my love and righteousness, you will discover a joy far deeper than anything else. You will find that in giving you are made full. In serving you, discover meaning. Not only your talents, but also your past experiences, even the ones you once thought were useless or painful, are part of your calling. You have known seasons of loneliness, tears, and failures that seemed overwhelming. Yet, my child, I did not allow them to happen in vain. I used them to teach you compassion, patience, and wisdom. These very experiences will make you a source of comfort to those walking through similar pain. You will understand them because you have been there yourself, and as you lift them up, my light will shine through you. My child, remember this: the passion I placed within you is also a guide to your calling. When you do something that sets your heart ablaze, when you immerse yourself so deeply that time slips away, that is a sign you are touching what I created you to do. That passion is not a fleeting impulse, but a steady flame. It may be hidden beneath busyness, buried under fear, yet it has never disappeared. I am the one who lit that fire, and I have kept it glowing quietly within you, waiting for the day it will burst forth in strength. But my child, for that calling to become clear, you must remain steadfast and faithful. The world will test you, causing you to doubt, tempting you to give up. There will be days when you feel you are on the wrong path, when the journey seems too hard, when the calling appears to be nothing more than an illusion. Yet I say to you, do not let go. For it is faithfulness in the small steps that opens the great doors. When you are faithful with little, I will entrust you with much. When you remain steadfast, even in silence, I will bring you into the light at the appointed time. I know that consistency is not always easy. There will be moments when you grow weary and ask, am I wasting my time? Do the things I do really matter? My child, do not let such doubts steal your faith. In my kingdom, nothing small is overlooked. A word of encouragement you give to another, a simple act of love unnoticed by anyone, all carry eternal value. Stay faithful, for I am watching every step you take. Learn to see yourself as part of the glorious symphony I am composing. Do not compare yourself with others, for each one carries a unique part. Another may carry the resounding drum, while you may carry the gentle flute. Yet only when both are played together does the melody become complete. Without your sound, the symphony would never be whole. So do not hesitate to express what I have placed in you, even if it seems small in the eyes of the world. In my eyes, it is of infinite worth. My beloved child, I want you to understand that your mission is not measured by the recognition of the world, but by your faithfulness to the calling I have given you. The world may not applaud, but heaven will rejoice. The world may not remember, but I will never forget. So step forward, live fully, use everything I have given you, your gifts, your experiences, your passion, to join the harmony of my symphony. And as you do, you will see that your life carries meaning not only for today, but will echo through generations to come. My dear child, I know that when I call you into your mission, fear rises within you. You wonder, what if I fail? What if I choose the wrong path? What if I am not capable enough? I see how these questions weigh on your mind. You worry that a single wrong step could ruin the journey, that one fall would disappoint me. But hear my words. Failure is not the end. Failure is a classroom, a place where I train you to grow stronger. I do not expect you to be perfect in every step. What I desire is your faithfulness. In the very process of falling and rising again, you will discover true strength. Do not forget that those I used most powerfully were not free from mistakes. Abraham once doubted Moses, once trembled with fear. David once fell into sin. Yet through it all I turned their failures into the very foundation on which they became witnesses of my faithfulness. So it will be with you. I can transform even your stumbles into testimonies of my grace and my power. My child, the calling I have placed upon you is not a path strewn with roses. It is a narrow road, often thorny, sometimes lonely. For following this call is not only about carrying out a task, but also about refining you. In this process, I will remove what hinders you, the habits that no longer serve you, the selfish desires that weigh you down. That is why you must walk with patience and discipline. You cannot expect to reap fruit the moment you sow the seed. You must believe in the harvest, even when all you see now is dry ground and stormy skies. I know there have been many moments when you wanted to give up. You have felt small before your trials. You have seen others moving faster, succeeding sooner, and you have wondered, why is my path so hard? My child, remember this. The path of each person is unique. I have not called you to compare. I have called you to be faithful. Looking at others will weary you, but fixing your eyes on me will strengthen you. Others may run their race, but only you can complete the race I have set before you. My child, faith is the key that helps you overcome the fear of failure. Faith is not knowing every step of the map, but trusting that I am holding your hand at every step. Faith is not the absence of fear, but the choice to move forward even when fear still lingers. Faith is not relying on your own strength, but leaning on mine. When you place your trust in me, you will see yourself walking through paths that once seemed impossible. I want you to understand that success, in my eyes, is not measured as the world measures. The world counts achievements, positions, and praise, but I measure faithfulness. When you do what I have called you to do, even in silence, even when no one sees, heaven takes note. You do not need the applause of men to know you are on the right way. Remember, a seed buried in the soil may be unseen, yet it is alive, growing, preparing for its time to bloom. So it is with you. Do not doubt your hidden steps, for I am using them to prepare a greater unveiling. My child, the fear of failure often comes from thinking you must carry everything alone. But I tell you this, you do not walk by yourself. I go before you to prepare the way. I go behind you to guard you. I walk beside you to accompany you. Even when you feel lost, I am there, closer than your very breath. Do not let my silence make you doubt my presence. There are times I remain silent, not because I have abandoned you, but because I want you to learn to trust me, not your emotions. Remember, courage is not the absence of fear, but walking forward in the midst of fear with the trust that I am with you. I do not expect you to be strong in yourself. I long for you to be strong in me. For I have spoken, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. 2 Corinthians 1:2-9. This means that in your weakest places I will display my greatest strength. When you tremble, I will uphold you. When you stumble, I will lift you. When you grow weary, I will give you new strength, like an eagle rising on the wind. Therefore, my child, do not fear failure any longer. Failure is not a sentence, but a teacher. Do not compare your path to anyone else's, for this way has been designed uniquely for you. Walk with patience, with discipline, and most of all, with faith. You will see that each small step draws you closer to your purpose. And when you are faithful, I will open doors no one can shut, leading you into places you never dared to imagine. My beloved, remember this. The calling I have placed within you is not a burden but a privilege. It is an opportunity to take part in my eternal plan. Do not let fear steal this opportunity from you. Take my hand, walk with me. Believe that this narrow and rugged path will, in the end, lead you to fullness. And then, looking back, you will know that every tear, every stumble, every day of faithfulness was worth it. My beloved child, I know there are moments when you ask yourself, why must I go through so many difficulties? Why does my life carry so many storms, trials, and tears? You feel as if I have abandoned you, or as if I am punishing you. But listen closely. My child, trials are not a sign that I despise you. Trials are proof that I am shaping you for a greater purpose. Not a single hardship you endure is by chance. Everything is within my hand, permitted by me to prepare you for a harvest of blessing. Remember, gold cannot become pure unless it passes through fire. In the same way, your faith cannot grow strong unless it is tested. Scripture declares, because you know that the testing of your faith produces perseverance. James 1:3. That perseverance is not passive endurance but inner strength, the capacity to stand firm even when storms rage around you. I allow trials not to destroy you but to refine you. Just as a blacksmith strikes steel with a hammer not to break it but to shape it into a sharp instrument, I too am forging you so that you may become a useful vessel in my hand. My child, do not think that the days you weep, the nights you lie awake, or the times you stumble are meaningless. It is in those very moments that I am teaching you lessons comfort could never teach. In hardship, you learn dependence on me. In failure, you learn humility. In loneliness, you learn to listen to my voice. All of this is making you deeper, stronger, and more mature. Not one tear you shed escapes my notice, not one sigh passes unheard. I hold them all in my hand and weave them into the fabric of a greater work than you can imagine. My child, trials are like fire. They may burn hot and bring pain, but they are not sent to consume you. They come to burn away what is unnecessary: fear, pride, dependence on human approval. When those things are burned away, you will stand firmer, shine brighter, and grow stronger. Just as a piece of coal passes through fire to become a diamond, You too are undergoing transformation to become a radiant treasure in my hand. You once thought peace meant the absence of storms, but the true peace I give is the ability to stand firm in the midst of the storm. If I allowed you to live only in ease, you would grow weak and collapse when real waves came crashing. But because I love you, I do not want you to be fragile. I want you to be a warrior, one who can endure, one who can lift others, one who can carry light into darkness. And to become such a warrior, you must be trained. Trials are the school of strength. Think of the seed. When it is sown into the soil, it must endure darkness, burial, and the seeming death of being hidden away. Yet in that darkness, new life begins to sprout. So it is with you. The seasons, when you feel buried, unseen, or forgotten, are the very times your roots of faith are growing deep. When the appointed season comes, you will rise stronger than ever before. Do not despise these hidden seasons, for it is in them that I am doing my deepest work in your life. My child, I know that often you want to escape the trial as quickly as possible. You cry out for me to open a way of escape immediately. But remember, I care not only for your temporary comfort, but for your eternal growth. If I spared you from every hardship, you would never discover the strength I have placed within you. I do not lead you into trials to abandon you, but to walk with you through them. I have spoken, when you pass through the waters, I will be with you, and through the rivers they shall not overwhelm you. When you walk through the fire, you shall not be burned. Isaiah 4:3-2. This is an unchanging promise. I do not promise to remove every storm, but I promise you will never walk alone. My child, change the way you look at trials. Do not see them as enemies, but as teachers. Do not only pray for escape, but pray to learn what I am trying to teach you through them. When you look at challenges through the eyes of faith, you will realize that they are the very doors that lead you into maturity, into a deeper and more authentic life. And when you overcome them, you will not only become stronger for yourself, but also a source of inspiration and comfort for others who are walking through similar struggles. My child, do not fear the fire, for I am with you in the fire. Do not fear the darkness, for I am the light within it. Do not fear trials, for they are merely tools in my hands. I do not allow them to come to destroy you, but to prepare you, to train you, and to shape you into a vessel worthy of use. Believe that every drop of sweat, every tear, and every moment you stand firm in perseverance, all are accumulating toward a glory beyond anything you have ever imagined. Beloved child, be courageous. Do not seek to avoid trials, but learn to walk through them with your eyes fixed on me. Let the fire refine you into purity. Let the hammer forge you into strength. Let every test turn you into a living witness that my power is real. And when you look back, you will see that not a single day of pain was wasted. Each moment has contributed to the making of the person I have destined you to be: resilient, strong, and overflowing with new life. My precious one, I know you have walked through seasons of betrayal when those you trusted the most turned their backs on you. I saw you give your heart to friendships, to love, to relationships you thought would last, only to watch them collapse like castles of sand before the crashing waves. I saw you bow beneath the weight of rejection, your pillow soaked with tears in the night. You asked yourself, why me? Why would those I trust wound me so deeply? Yet, my child, know this betrayal did not come to destroy you, but to teach you how to discern truth from falsehood, to recognize relationships built on mere advantage, and to treasure the love that flows from me alone. You have also known failure, the broken dreams, the doors slammed shut before you, the plans you poured yourself into that ended in ashes. I heard your sighs. I saw you whisper to yourself, I am not good enough. I cannot do it. But child, failure does not define you. Failure is a mirror, showing you where limits lie and what must be adjusted. I allow failure so that you may learn to lean more on me than on your own strength. It is through failure that your eyes are open to see that true worth is not measured in immediate results, but in faithfulness to the path I have laid out for you, and I know the losses you have endured. People you loved have left things you thought would remain forever have vanished. I have seen you clutch the emptiness in your heart as though part of you had been torn away. But my child, do not think that loss means the end. Loss is the space into which I pour my comfort and my presence. When what you valued most slips away, that is when you learn that I alone am the treasure that can never be taken from you. Picture life as a great mountain. At the base, the air is calm and the winds are gentle. But as you begin to climb higher, you find the winds grow stronger, the slopes steeper, and the challenges more relentless. Many times you feel like stopping, even turning back, for the strain seems more than you can bear. But my child, remember, it is only at the heights that you behold the vast landscape, the view unseen from below. And I am the one walking beside you on that climb. The higher you go, the fiercer the winds become. But this is not proof that you have gone astray. It is the sign that you are nearing the summit. The strong winds are not meant to strike you down, but to make you endure. In the same way, the trials you face are not meant to crush you, but to awaken within you a strength you never knew you had. Just as the seed must break its shell to rise, so too must you pass through breaking in order to give birth to new life. My child, it is in pain that I am engraving resilience into your very bones. You may not see it right away, but every time you choose to rise after a fall, your soul is being trained. Each time you forgive instead of clinging to bitterness, your heart grows larger. Each time you place your trust in me instead of allowing fear to dominate your faith becomes stronger. The more you walk through suffering, the more you are being shaped into the image I have destined for you. Do not be afraid when you find yourself weak in those moments. I do not demand that you always be strong. It is precisely in your weakness that my power will be revealed. I do not ask you to pretend you are not hurting. I want you to bring that pain to me. For when you place your burden in my hands, I will transform it into a source of strength. Your tears are never wasted. They are seeds sown, destined one day to produce a harvest of joy. Remember how many times in the past you thought you could not endure, and yet here you are, still standing, still breathing, still on the journey. Is that not proof that I have preserved you? If I upheld you in the storms of yesterday, surely I will guide you through the tempests ahead. Do not view trials with fearful eyes, but with faith. For the more you pass through the fire, the brighter you will shine. The more pressure you bear, the more precious you will become, like a diamond. My child, do not resent betrayal, failure, or loss. See them as teachers along the way. They teach you to discern what is true and what is false. They teach you patience, humility, and trust. They teach you that even if everything else crumbles, I remain the one who never changes. And through them you become deeper, more mature, and strong enough to bring comfort to others. My beloved, I am turning your pain into testimony. I am turning your failures into foundation. I am turning your losses into an empty space that I, myself, will fill. Therefore, do not fear the fierce winds or the steep road. Keep walking, for every step brings you closer to the summit of glory. And when you stand upon that mountain peak, you will look back and understand every betrayal, every failure, every loss was not your destruction, but my hand shaping you into a vessel of light. My beloved, I want you to etch this truth into your heart. What you call trials are not an ending, but a springboard that lifts you to a higher place. The world looks at hardship and sees punishment, injustice, or failure. But in my eyes, trials are the process of preparation, formation, and strengthening. Do not see hardship as a dead end. See it as a doorway into a new season. Every difficulty you face today is laying the foundation for tomorrow's glory. Remember Joseph, betrayed by his very brothers and sold into slavery. Imagine the anguish, betrayed by his own flesh and blood, stripped of freedom, cast into a foreign land. To human eyes, it was an irredeemable tragedy. Yet, I used that very betrayal to bring him to Egypt, the place I had ordained to elevate him as prime minister and save multitudes during famine. The pit his brothers dug to destroy him became the beginning of a glorious journey. Do you see? What the enemy meant for harm I can transform into a tool of redemption and elevation. Remember Moses. He once fled into the wilderness, thinking his life had ended as a nameless shepherd. But in those 40 years of solitude, I trained him in patience, humility, and leadership. When the appointed time came, he became the deliverer of Israel, leading my people out of slavery. Without that wilderness season, Moses would not have been ready to carry such a great mission. My child, those years you thought were wasted were in my sight years of preparation. Remember David. Before becoming the anointed king, he lived through days of being hunted by King Saul, forced to flee and hiding in caves. Those were years of danger and tears. Yet in that very season, I taught David to trust me to fight and to patiently wait for the appointed time. And when that moment arrived, he became a great king, a man described as one after my own heart. You see, trials did not destroy David. They shaped him into someone stronger, deeper, and prepared for the throne. My beloved child, these stories are not recorded merely to tell of the past, but to remind you today I am still working in the same way. I still use trials to prepare you. If I did this for Joseph, Moses, and David, then I can do it for you. I show no partiality. I am the faithful one, and I always turn adversity into opportunities for greater glory. Therefore, do not see present suffering as a sign that I am absent. On the contrary, it is a sign that I am preparing something significant for you. My child, I know there are moments when you are weary and tempted to give up. You have thought before, it would be better to stop than to continue in hardship. But I tell you, do not stop. For if you quit, you will never see the harvest awaiting ahead. Like a farmer who plants seed, if he stops tending the field before the harvest season, he will never see the golden crops. So it is with you. Do not give up just because you have not yet seen the result. Be steadfast, for the harvest will surely come. You must understand that every time you stand firm in trial, you are not only building yourself, but also leaving a legacy for the generations to come. You become an example for others to see that it is possible to endure, to persevere, to trust. You become a guiding light for those stumbling in the dark. Think of those who are watching you. They need to see in you a living testimony that I am faithful. My child, do not fear what lies ahead. Do not let the storms convince you that everything has ended. I am the one writing your story, and I have not placed the final period. Every dark chapter is only a stepping stone toward a brighter one. When you trust me, you will see that every detail, even the painful ones, is contributing to a glorious design. I have not abandoned you. I am walking with you, and I will bring you to the finish. Therefore, my child, rise up. Do not let fear or disappointment hold you back. Do not look behind with bitterness, but look forward with hope. Believe that the present trial is preparing you for a greater mission, a richer harvest, and a fuller revelation of my glory. I have chosen you, I am refining you, and I will complete the work I have begun. My beloved, remember, trials are not the end. They are preparation. They do not come to extinguish you, but to ignite the fire within you. They do not arrive to destroy, but to shape you into a powerful instrument. Hold fast to faith, keep moving forward, and you will see that everything you have endured is only the beginning of the wonder I am about to reveal. My child, after all that you have passed through, I want you to know that trials do not come to drown you, but to prepare you for a new life. As you endure and walk through the fire, you are no longer the same person you once were. You have changed, matured, and become a stronger, wiser version of yourself. I now see in you a peace you never had before, not the fragile peace dependent on circumstances, but a lasting peace that flows from my presence. Even though the storms remain, you stand firm, for you know that I am with you. My child, I have turned your tears into seeds. Every time you wept in loneliness, every time you sighed in the night, those tears fell like seeds into the soil, and now the harvest is coming. You will reap joy from the very place where you once wept. You will see fruit spring up from the ground you once thought barren. For I have promised those who sow in tears will reap in joy. Psalm 1265. This promise never fails. I am turning your years of dryness into a season of abundance. And know this, my child, the greatest transformation is not in your outer circumstances, but in the person you are within. Once you trembled easily at rejection, but now you know your worth in my eyes. Once you collapsed when your plans failed, but now you know that I have a greater plan. Once you lived in fear, but now you walk in confidence, not confidence in yourself, but in the one who has chosen you. You have learned that everything in life, both the light and the dark, can become the raw material for me to create something good. My child, this is the moment when you begin to live in true freedom. Freedom is not the absence of burdens, but the assurance that you do not have to carry them alone. Freedom is not the absence of fear, but the knowledge that my love is greater than every fear. Freedom is not when every door stands open, but when you trust that I will open the right one at the appointed time. You are no longer bound by judgment, by comparison, or by meaningless pressure. You are walking in the freedom of the children of God, the freedom that flows from truth. Remember the days when you thought you would collapse, yet here you stand. Recall the nights when you believed you could not endure, yet the dawn still broke. That is the proof that I have sustained you, and the promise that I will continue to walk with you into the new journey ahead. You no longer live as a victim of the past, but as a witness of restoration. The scars in your life are no longer signs of shame, but testimonies of grace. They bear witness that you have passed through fire, but the fire did not consume you. My beloved, let gratitude become your new breath. When you are thankful, your eyes open to see miracles in the smallest things. A smile, a word of encouragement, an unexpected opportunity. Gratitude allows you to recognize that I am always present, always at work, even in the most ordinary details of life. Gratitude keeps your heart soft, guarding it against bitterness. Gratitude reminds you that you never walk alone, for I am with you in every moment. My child, I did not bring you through the fire so that you would continue living as before. I brought you through so that you might step into a new life, a life of clarity, of joy, of freedom. Be bold and walk forward, for I have lifted the old burdens from your shoulders. Do not return to the chains that have already been broken. Do not allow the fears of yesterday to bind the promise of tomorrow. You have been set free, and I desire that you live as one who is truly free. Lift your head high, for you are no longer a wanderer in the dark, but a child of light. Walk with confidence, for you no longer live for your own will, but for a purpose far greater than yourself. Open your heart in gratitude, for each day of your life is a gift. And remember, this is only the beginning. All that you have endured has been but preparation for the season ahead, a season of revelation, of fullness, of abundant life in me. My beloved, when I renew you, that transformation is not for you alone, but also for those around you. I do not heal, restore, and make you new so that you may keep it to yourself. I transform you so that you may become a source of inspiration, of comfort, and of light to others. For in this world filled with darkness, countless hearts are longing for a glimmer of light, a helping hand, a gentle reminder that hope still remains, and I have chosen you to carry that hope to them. My child, do not think you are too small to make an impact. A single candle can drive away the darkness of an entire room. A drop of water may seem insignificant, yet when it touches the surface of a lake, it creates ripples that spread endlessly. So too, a word of encouragement, a gesture of love, a simple act of kindness from you can change the course of someone's life. You may not see the result immediately, but the seeds of hope you plant will grow in the season I have appointed. My child, this world does not need more hearts grown cold, but more people who know how to love. It does not need more voices of criticism, but those who dare to speak words of encouragement. It does not need more darkness, but light. And you are that light. I have kindled a flame within you, not for you to hide, but to shine. I have given you love, not for you to keep, but to pour out. My child, remember this. What you have gone through has not been in vain. The pain, the failures, the betrayals of the past will become a powerful testimony for others. When you tell your story, when you share that you once fell but were lifted up by me, others will find hope. They will realize that if I did it for you, I can also do it for them. The scars you once tried to hide will become evidence of healing, and through them, those who are suffering will believe that healing can also come to them. My child, imagine this world as a vast night. If each of my children lights their own candle, the darkness will lose its power. You do not need to illuminate the whole world. You only need to shine where you stand. When that light touches another, they too will kindle their flame. Then light will multiply, spreading from life to life, from generation to generation. This is how I transform the world, beginning with a single heart, then moving outward as an unstoppable wave. My child, never underestimate the power of influence. People often think influence requires great power, high status, or a large following. But true influence begins in the heart. When your heart reveals love, that influence reaches places power cannot. A silent prayer, a hand extended to the hurting, an act of forgiveness toward one who wronged you, these can bring deeper change than the grandest speech. My beloved, I want you to step forth and become an instrument of healing. There are people waiting specifically for you, not someone else to speak a word, to give a glance, to reach out a hand. I have placed you in your family, your community, and your workplace, not by chance, but so you may be salt and light there. You may think your presence does not matter, but I say your very presence is the answer to someone's prayer. Remember, when you give, you never lose. On the contrary, the more you give, the more I pour into you. When you share your faith grows stronger. When you spread love, you are filled with even more love. When you encourage others, you too will be encouraged. This is the law of my kingdom. The seeds you sow, you will reap in abundance. My child, this world is filled with weariness, disappointment, and confusion. Yet I have called you to be a voice of hope. Do not remain silent. Do not let fear hold you back. Step forward, live with courage, and let your life stand as proof that darkness cannot overcome the light. For the light within you does not come from you, but from me, the one who has lit the eternal flame in your soul. My child, let your influence extend beyond this generation into the next. Sow seeds of love, faith, and hope into your children, your friends, and those you encounter each day. One day, when you are no longer on this earth, those seeds will continue to sprout, blossom, and bring forth a harvest for many generations. This is the legacy I desire you to leave, not fleeting monuments, but souls touched and lives transformed. My beloved, never forget that I have called you not only to live a good life for yourself, but to be a bearer of blessing. You are the channel through which my love flows to others. You are the stream that refreshes thirsty hearts. You are the light guiding those lost in the night. And when you live true to this calling, heaven rejoices, and you will taste fulfillment beyond anything the world can give. My beloved, I want you to understand that the journey you have walked is not merely a series of trials and transformations for yourself alone, but a living testimony for the world. The new life you are entering is the legacy you will leave, not only for this generation, but for many to come. I did not save you only to give you peace. I renewed you so you may be a witness that I am faithful. Every step you take, every word you speak, every act of love, these will resound like a song declaring that light always triumphs over darkness. My child, do not think legacy is measured by great monuments or celebrated achievements. True legacy is a life lived in faithfulness. When others look at you and see your steadfastness in hardship, your peace in the storm, your love in a world of hate, that is legacy. It is a mark that cannot be erased, a lamp left for those who come after you. Such a life will continue to speak, even when you are no longer on this earth. My child, I did not create you to blend into the darkness, but to shine. I have spoken in Scripture. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden, Matthew 5:1-4. You are the light, not because you are perfect, but because I, the source of light, dwell in you. Light does not need to be great in order to be useful. Its very presence drives away darkness. Therefore, do not hide your light. Do not let fear or comparison cause you to shrink back. You were born to shine, to be salt, and light to carry my flavor and brilliance into the world. Remember, light does not shine for the sake of being admired. Light exists to guide, to warm, and to lead the way. In the same manner, you are called not to live for your own glory, but so that others seeing your life may recognize me. When you love, when you forgive, when you endure, when you choose to trust me instead of drowning in despair, that is when you shine most brightly, and that light will draw others closer to me, the source of life. My beloved, never underestimate the power of a transformed life. A single soul living in truth can shake an entire generation. A simple testimony can rescue a heart from hopelessness. A small act can ignite the spark of a movement that brings change. Believe that your obedience today is planting seeds for tomorrow's harvest. You may never fully know the reach of your influence, but I know, and I will use it to accomplish far more than you can imagine. My child, I call you to live as a lamp that cannot be hidden. Do not run from your light in order to please others. Do not dim it just to be accepted. You were not born to disappear into the shadows, but to shine within them. When you live in alignment with what I have placed within you, you will see darkness tremble and retreat. For light does not need to fight against darkness, it simply shines and darkness vanishes. My child, the legacy you leave will not be written only in words, but in the very way you live. When you walk faithfully, you leave a trail of footsteps for others to follow. When you choose love over resentment, you leave a path of reconciliation. When you hold on to faith in the midst of trials, you leave a testimony for those who come after you. And when you remain faithful to the end, you will hear my voice declaring, "Well done, good and faithful servant." Enter into the joy of your Lord, Matthew 2:5-1. Do not wait for everything to be perfect before you begin to shine. Start here, start now, right where you stand. Light does not wait for night to end before it glows. It shines brightest in the darkness. In the same way, your life will radiate most clearly, not when circumstances are easy, but when you remain steadfast in hardship, trust amid uncertainty, and love in the face of hatred. That is when your light will be unmistakable. My beloved child, walk in this new life with courage. Let every day you live be a testimony that I am faithful. Let every choice you make be a seed for the next generation. Let every word you speak and every action you take be a light to those who are lost. And remember, you never walk alone. I am with you. I go before you. I uphold you, and I will complete the work I began in you. Therefore, my child, lift up your head. Shine with the light I have placed within you. Let your life become a song of thanksgiving, a lamp that leads the way, an eternal legacy. For you are the light of the world, and that light will never be extinguished. May the word of the Lord continually remind you to live each day in faith and in His love. Press the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you will not miss the sacred and meaningful messages God desires to share with you. May the Lord bless you. Amen.